the Zerg versus Zerg, and it is going to be on Ohana. Tell me what you thought of that game, guys. Post in the chat. Alright. Yeah, I kind of can't wait for this map to be gone as well. I'm not... It depends, like, because I play Protoss and Terran, it's kind of, you know, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And when it comes to, like, watching games on it, I think they're very generic. You don't really see people doing, you know, interesting things too often on this map. Like, it used to be a map where you could go third Nexus before core in PvZ, but you kind of can't really do that as much anymore. And other than that, I can't really think of any interesting builds that you can do on this map. Anyway, jumping into this, it is a Zerg versus Zerg again. Of course, it is game number 2 between our blue Zerg player up the top left. It is team admitted, it is Mafia. And his opponent down the bottom right as the orange Zerg with a 9 pool going down. It is FlashFlood, aka Flash Ribs. Yeah. Well, 9 pool. Slightly earlier than the Eco 10 pool, but slightly later than what would normally be considered a sort of standard timing for a very early pool here. So he is going to get, he's going to cancel that out and just sort of make sure his drone count is going up as high as it possibly can. Mafia's Overlord, of course, he's not going to be able to spot this, but it will be able to see when the links come across the map. Of course, the interesting thing will be whether, there it is, 15 pool goes down for Mafia. So the timing, I mean, the lings will probably get here just as the spawning pool completes, but then of course you've got the time for the lings to actually to be morphed in. So this is going to be cutting it very close here for Mafia. We'll have to see if he's able to defend. I have seen him do some miraculous things with the drone defense. We'll see. I mean, he's going across here, he's going to put the hatchery down. Of course, he thinks he's in a relatively safe position right now, but he's going to see this. Let's actually go into the Mafia cam and have a look. Looking on the map. There he is. Sees those lings coming out. Going to react now. What's he doing? Nothing really to react to. As I said, the spawning pool is only just finishing up now. He's going to need a couple of lings to come out as quick as he can. Does also have a queen on the way to help out with the defense. The unfortunate part is he's slightly supply blocked. Oh no, now it's finished, so he's all good. So I think perhaps this this hatchery may need to be cancelled. I'm not sort of exactly sure about that, but behind all of this, Flood is not getting any more lings. He's got a couple of drones on the way. Hatchery is also being built as well. So it is going to be a total of, how many lings in total? He's got 10 lings up here. Does force the cancel. If he kills that drone, that's actually quite nice for him as well, but he does get inside the main. The queen is up. The lings are up as well. With some good drone defense and good positioning here, Mafia should be okay, and with the fact that Mafia is going to have his gas a little bit earlier, his link speed is going to be far earlier than Flood's. So Mafia does still have that drone alive. That's quite impressive. But now coming towards the ramp, it looks like Mafia wants to get down there and put the hatchery down. He does have quite a few links here, so he is going to be able to fend that off for the time being. And Flood is, well, as you can see here, his hatchery is just about to complete. So, you know, he's sacrificed a little bit right at the start. It looks like he is going to be staying in this game for the time being. He didn't commit. He didn't overcommit to that ling rush. He sort of just said, you know what? You better cancel yours, otherwise you're in trouble, and therefore mine is going to be quite a while further ahead than yours. So, Mafia, what does he want to do now? He wants to get down here, maybe put some pressure on. If he can cap a queen or something like that, then he'd be quite happy with that, but I highly doubt that's going to happen here. Unless some miraculous kind of situation occurs. And here come those lings. They're going to try and get in. Have a quick look at what's going on. Too many lings to try and snipe that queen. If the ling count was a little bit lower, then of course he could try and do it. But with that many lings, it's you know, there's no real way to get anything done. Even though he does actually have a does he have a slight lead? Yeah, he's got one ling lead. So not too much of an issue here for Mafia. He's going to sit back. He's going to drone up. And it looks as if that defensive Baneling Nest is now going up for Flood. Just needs to prepare and make sure that he is prepared against any possible other counterattacks that might come along. Mafia himself has now gotten his natural up as the Queen pops down. A little Crypt Shimmer will get rid of that Ling that was trying to get through as well, and also has an inject going on that natural. So he's going to try and really just crank up his worker count right now. He's up to 29 workers. Meanwhile, for Flood, he's sitting here on 26. Not too much of a difference here, especially at this sort of stage of the game. So things are, just slightly evening out for the moment. I mean, the Ling speed was actually pretty much the same sort of timing, but the drone count is going to be the interesting part. Who's going to commit more to their drones? And it looks like Mafia is going to get inside. A couple of Banes are here to protect against this kind of attack, but they don't get across in time. Looks like Flood did, I believe he did actually cancel that Spine Crawler, so no issue for him there in defending against that. The drone count at 37 for Mafia, going down just a tiny bit while he puts down extra gases. And it looks like Flood's just going to head across. He wants to maybe get some damage done if he can find that Mafia is a little bit low on his link count here. There is a Spine Crawler, not to mention a couple of Banes, so Mafia should be okay. Just needs to keep his micro all sexy there, and he should be fine. But yeah, this is kind of turned into a bit of a stale situation right now. For Flood, he's actually got 8 drones that have just popped out. He's now got an Overlord on the way, a little bit supply blocked. Well, it's kind of a weird sort of game right now because Flood's he's still supply blocked. He's only fixed. The drone count is currently sitting at 40 for Flood. He's up to 39 for Mafia. So Mafia still just trying to keep all of his tech going as much as as best as he can. Roach Warren on the way for both players. Mafia's will be slightly earlier. As we can see, 6 more drones about to pop out here for Flood. He's also got an infestation pit is building inside the main here. So he's going to be able to get some of those infestors out just a tiny bit quicker, but not really a huge amount. But both the players, as I said, I sort of think this is the part where it gets to, this map generally tends to go to 2.5 bases because the players sort of try and get this third up and running, and then all sorts of crazy things happen and it never really gets going. So as you can see, Mafia is going to try and head back across now that those Lings are being cleared out, and it's going to see what it can do about getting a third base in operation. Meanwhile for Flood, doing the same thing himself. So both these guys are just really sticking with the same sort of play here. Roaches are coming through from Flood. He's also got Roaches to contend with from Mafia. 9 more are being built here by Mafia. He's got +1. He's going to have a look and perhaps going to try and get this +1 attack going with a little bit of a cancel. Maybe if he can force a cancel on the third base or at least destroy it, then he will be sitting quite nicely, of course, with his own third base just on the way. And, it's around about halfway done. But Mafia sort of forced back for the moment, given that his opponent has quite a lot of Roaches here as well. So a few Lings have also available here for Flood to utilize in any kind of defense. But Mafia does have more supporting Roaches on the way, as we can see. They're over there, and a couple more are heading down as well. So he is going to have a little bit of a higher Roach count because the rest of the Roaches are now just popping out for Flood. But once they link up with the rest of the forces, then he should be okay. But a little bit of a Roach battle here. Nice targeting down. Wow, Mafia just targeting down those Roaches as best as he can, but he has been surrounded. If Flood can just pick off quite a few of these, then he will be sitting in a very nice spot here. And he does get away. The veins just exploding on that Roach, on a couple of those Roaches, and not looking too good there. But as you can see, 14 more Roaches on the way for Mafia. He's just preparing for a possible counter-attack from Flood. And as you can see, Pathogen Glands is done. So 4 Infestors are on the way for Flood. So this is probably going to go a little bit longer now that these guys have tried to trade for their third bases, and you know, Mafia has effectively won out here. He's up on drones a little bit. His supply is also a little bit higher as well. But Flood is going to grab his extra gases so that he can get those extra infestors out as well. And now with +2 weapons on the way from both players. Unit count currently sitting at 31 roaches for Mafia, 2 infestors, so he is a little bit lower in the infestor count, and 62 drones. Meanwhile, for Flood, he is sitting down here on 48 drones and 4 infestors and 27 roaches. So he's got a slight deficit in the roach count. Not really too much of an issue, but he does have a little bit of a better infestor squad. And here we go. It looks like the battle is going to be on here. Flood is, you know, he's a little bit trapped with some of his units. In fact, both of these players kind of leaving some of their roaches at the back of the line there, but Fungal's going down. Both players doing a good job grabbing quite a few units with those Fungals. Infestor Terrans popping up, and it looks like Mafia is going to win this fight with his superior backup capability. Of course, with his roaches just coming in from a short while away, he is able to reinforce as quick as that. And he is now sitting on a supply count of 145. Looks like Flood going to try and do a little bit of a run by with some of these roaches. Not really going to get too much done. May get one drone. Yes, he does. Good targeting there. Nicely done by Flood. But he is going to have to fall back for the moment. His supply is a little bit further behind. And as you can see, he's going to need to get out quite a few more infestors if he wants to take advantage of this. Mafia throwing down a Contaminate. Good to see that. As I said before, I really like seeing Contaminate. I wish more players would use it a bit more. But the +2 weapons now about to kick in for both of these players. Burrow Tech is also just coming up now for Mafia. However, it has been stopped. Contaminate! That's pretty cool. Contaminate on the hatchery that was researching Burrow, so that will delay it just a tiny bit here. However, Flood isn't getting his own Burrow Tech, so it's not going to matter too much. You will need to be aware that that is a possibility for that Mafia will be able to burrow his roaches in the battle. +1 on the Carapace also just coming along from Flood. So things are, you know, Mafia is in a really nice position right now. Like, he's up to 43 roaches, 60 infestors, 6 infestors, close to 60, but you know, we do our best. So he's looking pretty good right now, especially seeing a couple more infestors have just popped out. He's got his +2 ready, and his Burrow Tech is also just about done. So he's going to try and come out here and get some damage done with these Burrow Roaches. If he can get some good Fungals off, and if he can micro the Burrow properly, he should be in a really nice spot. And splitting up those Roaches before he goes in, looking at the battlefield here, looks like Flood just trying to throw down some preemptive Roaches, some preemptive Force Fields there, but wow, look at those Force Fields. Not too bad at all from Flood. He has grabbed almost all of those roaches and half of them are about to pop. On the left side we can see another battle as well. Looks like that one is going to go Flood's way, but the infested Terrans helping out and the roaches are still alive. Quite a lot of those roaches are available. Nice force fields indeed. I mean Fungals, you know what I mean, guys. And the infested Terrans coming along, just wading their way along like penguins on the creep, and they do quite a lot of damage. But unfortunately, you know, I think that they're about to all fall apart as they do, and the roaches are going to start to dwindle here for Mafia. It does have a huge resupply coming along. As you can see, though, look at that. He's got all sorts of roaches now coming along. In fact, he's going to have to save these infestors, getting them back a little bit. But Mafia is up to 169 supply. He has got a huge amount of roaches now just streaming down the map. A Queen goes down, sniping out a random creep tumor that's there as well. And Mafia, I think, is about to take this game. He's up to 197 supply. 14 more roaches and +1 Carapace now kicking in for Mafia as well. While his opponent has the exact same upgrades, the fact that he has so many roaches pretty much causing the win here for Mafia. And I think that's going to be it. Despite the best intentions of Flood, he's done what he could, but I mean, that is it. And a GG from Flood. So, really well done by both players, and I think that a little bit of cheese right at the start was a nice little additive to the game, but Mafia defending it quite nicely, brought it all back, and is going to... where are we? Are we at... that was game 2, so we're into game number 3.